Alright. There we go. Okay. Cool. Alright. So I'm working on a prison core for modern version of Minecraft. Figured I'd stream it. Maybe that way I'll have more motivation. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Never streamed before, and obviously at the time nobody's watching, so you know, we'll get there one day, I'm sure. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Guess we can just go ahead and get started then. Let me check. What here's all my projects set up. I have shadow, raising paperweight. I should probably check if this is the current version. And yeah, so this is to inject the version into this file here. As you can see, this API dependency, Discord description, all the standard stuff. Let's check here. 1.21. Might as well stick with that. See if I can change that. It's telling me about 13,500 bit rate. Okay, sure, we'll do that. Hopefully that fixes that warning. Alright. Got the config here. There's basically nothing in it. The header and some console logging settings, which we'll look at later. Okay. So I don't know. I haven't worked on this project in a while, and obviously I just restarted it. So I need to kind of remember the direction I want to go in it. Here's our build source. We got a common Gradle here, which has a database and placeholder API in there. So that's neat. We just need to get started, honestly. I don't know what better way to get started than to just do it. So let's look at this real quick. So we have the SRC, which is our main module. We're gonna need another we're going to need a module for all of our other modules to depend on, including our main module. That way we can avoid circular dependencies. So let's just call it common. Using chapter 21. Yep. Groovy, all that. Just go ahead and create it. Sure. Okay, so now we can use this here. Try and copy this extra common here. This, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, has Java. Has paperweight. There's everything else has the group inversion. This is stuff. So should be good to go if I just remove all this. Do that. Okay. Settings at Gradle has the new module which is created. Let's go ahead and go into our main build.gradle file right here. And add our dependency on the new module that we just created. So implementation should be project common. I should do it and reload it. So now our main module will have access to everything in this common module, which is good. So we're gonna do our main plugin here basically. Yes, this is our main class. Astra plugin. Unless we want to call it just normal. Yeah. No, I think we'll just say that it is. So here, we call it Astra Prism. And this will be our should be like our utility class, I suppose. The interface here. Let's see, Astra. Actually, you know what? Yeah. I'm achieving all dirty. Astra Prism. Factor anyways. You. Be Astra. Okay, great. You Astra plugin. You are broken. So you I'm gonna delete and just make again. So this will be our kind of utility class to get everything we need across our project. So we'll say Java plugin. Let's do that. So this way we'll have an instance of the we don't need this. All right. Really download. William. Okay, you know what? We don't need it to be public. We'll mark it. Not null. We'll say. Okay. really. Yeah, this one. It. Oh yeah. So return. So now, obviously, this assumes that Java plugin is, or the instance of the plugin that we're setting will be an instance of Astro plugin. So that means we have to go here. We have to implement Astro plugin. Here we go. Okay, this is how you avoid circular dependencies. Now, any other modules don't have to depend on the main one. They can depend on common and still get an instance of the main class easily. Without having to use bucket. Okay. What do we want to work on first here? And also, this might not be a long stream. I just kind of wanted to try it out. So, you know, make a start, try it out. Why not? Plus, it's 2:30 a.m. right now. Okay. Yes, okay. So, what else we need in here is configuration classes. Which I might steal from my current repository. Because I have started this project before. I'm just redoing it for, and streaming the code of it. So it wasn't finished anyways, and I just felt like it needed a restart. So we go here. Okay. So, alright, great. Here's what we'll do. We'll do configuration. What is your configuration? Okay. And now we'll make a new interface. There we go. This is so we can have multiple file types, but have the same base methods, like reloading and saving it. There we go. No loading. Implements dash copy. There we go. And these aren't, I don't think we should, yeah, we should probably just keep it local. Not allow any of them to pass in a Java plugin. I mean, if you have a plugin that's utilizing our config class, and they probably shouldn't, or you shouldn't be using that plugin. So, yeah. Yeah, constructor, we need a file path. I not know. Path, stop file path. This file path. And we'll say ends with .yml. Then it's just file path. Otherwise, it's file path plus .yml. So this will always ensure it ends with .yml, because we're making YAML config file. And all we're going to pass in here will be the name of the file with or without the extension of .yaml. And we'll also have a, you can also have folders in there as well. So it could be like folder/file.yaml. Okay, and then let me refamiliarize myself with this class. Yep. So the file. And a file configuration. There we go. We need a method to get the file. New file. Get. We actually need to make another method here. Java plugin, get plugin. And the reason that we're making a public static method to get our main class instance is because it's already easy to get anyways, and it's the same reason people make a get instance method of their main class in their main class like this. Alright. It's the same reason they do it like this. They have this method here in most cases, and that's because if you really wanted to, you could just say bucket get plugin manager, get plugin, and you know, there you go, you have their main class instance, and this works even easier if they're hooking into your plugin or your jar file. They can just say, they could say this and then access all your methods, your public methods in your main class anyways. So that's why people do that for their main class in the plugin, because it's already easy to get it. All we're doing is making it easier for ourselves. So now we have that. Let's say get plugin. What do we need here? Get data folder. Right. And the child is the file path. There we go. Gosh. Okay. So now we have a method to get the file, or a new file. Now we need to get the options. For the file configuration. Set that. Okay. Now we can fill out these 3 override methods here. So this save file checks first if either of these are null, and if so, it will return. As now, I'm gonna try catch. Save, I'm going to pass in the file variable to it. And we gotta catch an IO exception there. And we're gonna replace this line here later to for a better method, because it tells us that should be replaced with more robust logging. So that's what we're gonna do later. Okay, and now the save method here. So, okay, what this method here does, save file, is it saves the file configuration to the file. So any changes we make through the file configuration, say we want to do get string, right? So we can get from it, or we can set a certain thing here, right? We could set this to the path test. We can set it to a string called test, and that won't take effect unless we call save file, in which case file configuration will save to the file. And then once you do that, normally we'll call this reload method to get the file into the file configuration. And that's what we'll do shortly. And now, the reason we have a save file and a save method is because save is supposed to do something else. If file is null, right, first off, file equals file. That way, you have a way to define the file field member. And now, if if it already exists, we can return. That way, now we can say child bottom equals get volume, right? If volume get resource file path is equal to null, we can return. Right, just checking it. Now save resource file path. False. We don't want to override if it's already there, but it shouldn't be already there. Oops. Because let me just undo. Okay, there we go. Oh, there we go. Because we already checked it, but you know, this should be safe. Okay, so this method will save the file to the server's plugin folder. You know, plugin / master person / config.yno. We'll save it there. If it's not already there, and then this will save any changes in the file configuration to that file in the folder as well. And then reload will load those changes. File configuration equals configuration load file. And we're not using the file member field. And instead we're getting in a new, basically. Yep, so now what we need to do here, we save and we reload and save again. Why? I'm not too sure, but previous times messing with this, it just kind of needed it for some reason. So first we're saving it to the folder, and then we are reloading it, and then and then we're saving it again, which should do nothing, so let's just remove it. Going through the logic, that's at least how it works logically. If it needs that second save, we'll add it back later after testing. Okay, and that's our YML configuration file class done. We can make any amount of YML files now. Okay. Well, let's add some Java documentation here. I believe it's like that, yeah. This is part of the server. This one, no, sorry. This one saves part of the server. And this one saves changes on the Let's go ahead. Okay. Right, this. Okay, I don't know why it's not just importing it. Whatever. Including file on the server. So we might as well just refactor this. Call it save changes. Alright, and then we can move that one up. And then we can loads the file from server into the file configuration. There we go. And now in the code in read mode, it looks like this. I wish it would just import it. Maybe we should just do that manually. That works. Now get rid of this. There we go. Yep. And now it looks better. Yep. You hover over this, shows you what it is. It's a file from the server into the file configuration. So change from the file configuration to the file on the server. Yep. So now if you reordered it here, let's go into here and reorder it as well. Like that. Okay. So now I'm gonna make 2 more classes. Yeah. Sorry, we're gonna make two new classes for JSON configuration files. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, let's do that. So YAML config uses file configuration from the Spigot API or CraftPacket API, and there's no equivalent for that. There's no equivalent to that in JSON, so we're gonna make our own here, like that. And again, I'm using the code from my current repository for this project. It's on GitHub, open source. So not only am I live streaming this, but it's gonna be open source the whole time as well. At least the current project is. I don't know how often I'm gonna push my recode changes, but it is on live stream. So first off is an object, and we're using JSON. It's like that. Okay, now the constructor. This should be just a new JSON object. There we go. Now load from a file. Now let's use a reader. New file reader. Search file. Should catch section. Yeah, and JSON parse exception. Once again, we're going to replace this with our own login later. So, JSON parser. Yeah. There we go. JSON elements. This is function parse reader. If JSON element is JSON object, then this JSON object add data element, and that should be it. Okay, and this stuff is deprecated, so down with the documentation first, see if there's any alternative. No need to instantiate this class, use static methods instead. Good to know. Use parse reader. JSON element parser. Okay. So maybe you just say no. There we go. And we've replaced our deprecated code with non-deprecated code. So it's already an improvement over my current project. Okay. And I'll save it. Oh my god. There we go. So yep, public void save. Let's take some. Yep. While. So this one is a writer. No, okay, not new writer. New file writer. Okay. JSON equals new JSON builder. Set into, yeah. There we go. Listen to JSON. We just say JSON object. We don't need to do this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna pass in writer. There we go. Now we need a catch section. There we go. You can probably put fun right. Yep. Okay, there we go. And okay. So now we're gonna make some methods that you might see in the file configuration class. Void set path normal object value. This is going to put that here, property path and value string This is yellow because right. Make sure it's not null. Huh? Interesting. Not sure what'll happen. Okay, yeah, that's fine. This is nullable value right here, so should be fine to be null. But no, this is why. Okay. There you go. That'll solve it. So if value is null, then it'll set null, or pass in null. Otherwise, it'll pass in the string of the object. With the object as a string. Although this looks a little ugly, so I'm really debating on whether to expand on it or not. Yeah, sure, why not? Here, and we'll just pass in instead. There you go. Okay. It still looks a little ugly, but I'm just gonna move on. Alright. Get string. Get path. And an optional parameter to pass in a default return value if it's not, if that path doesn't exist in the file. So sorry, data dot has path and why do we need to get as JSON object? It already is a JSON object. Shouldn't need to get as JSON object, right? Oh, we're okay. We're getting data. That's one. That's one. Get path. Get as string. There you go. Okay. Otherwise, return default. And now we're gonna say nullable, right? But we're gonna make a contract on this. It should be underscore not null is not null. Alright, here we go. So what this means, or what this does essentially, is if I was to say here equals get string path, if I was to pass in null here, and then let's say, what's a good, alright, test to string, right? So obviously it's already a string, but just for demonstration purposes, you're gonna see that it's gonna say first off it's redundant, but it'll also say may produce null pointer exception, right? That's because the return value of this method here can be null, but this contract changes. So if I were to pass in a non-null default value here, like this, default, now it does it no longer warns us that it could be null, because it knows that if this isn't null, then it won't return null, right? And we're already checking if it's in the file, otherwise it'll return default. So if you don't pass in null here, it will not return null ever, and that's what contract is telling your IDE. So it's a little less hassle. You don't have to null check if you don't pass null into it. Okay. Right. Okay. Yep. Okay. Everything's good so far. Let's go ahead and get a. Yes, let's make another get string method. So this time, get string. This time we're not gonna have a default option. So return get string path. Well, this one can be nullable, and there won't be any contract on it because it'll be null if the path doesn't exist. And if you want it to not return null, then you will use this method instead and pass in a default value. Okay. Yeah. So that's all good. Next up is a get map list method. Except it'll be a JSON array. Get map list, right? And always one will not know this parameter. It has return this okay, get as JSON array path. This is curious here. Is this meant to have? No. Okay. Otherwise, return new JSON array. And this means we can make this here not null. So never return a null value. Okay. Yeah. Next is a JSON element. Get, yeah. So this would be like a get object method from the file configuration, or just get. It's just called get, but it returns an object instead of something specific. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So this, I don't know why I have in my repo the value parameter to be null, but we don't need it to be null. Get delete that. We don't need it. We don't need to pass in null. And this should or null if no such member exists. So this can be nullable. Yeah. Well, now we have a get map method. And this returns a JSON object. And this is get this JSON object path. Nope, this is data. And now object null object that has path new. Not too complicated there. And we will return get this object path. Otherwise return null. And now that makes this nullable. Let's see. 3 views. $48-minute stream so far. Cool. Okay. So this should be actually one more method we have here. We have a set map method. It's interesting. There's a comment in there from a different language. Let's see the last commit here. I don't know. It's possible I definitely used some other code to help me out with this one. That's for sure. Okay. Right. This is a void. This is an object. Object. There we go. Minor JSON object. And we'll just call this data. JSON object get as data. Yep. Okay. Simple null check. So means you can't make it final. Okay. Great. So if it's null, then we make it not null. Now we are looping through the set here. You probably do it for each. Okay. Yeah, right. So key value. Interesting. Expected one. Okay. Let me just run it. Yeah. We'll just call it entry. Now we are adding right. So that's why I didn't use a for each. This data has to be final. So let's go ahead and fix this thing. This is a string JSON element. And should be here we go. And you're all done with this class. Okay, just configuration is done. This one's okay, one more class we have to add for to make JSON and counter clause work. And that will be interesting. Apparently I never actually, okay, that's weird. Never actually used this for the JSON config clause. Interesting. We'll see what happens then. This is swing object. This is a map to store our JSON data. Okay. Cool. Right here, there's a string here. For some reason, did I not finish this class or something? I don't. It's been a while. It's been 6 months since this commit I'm looking at. Let me check the master branch. There we go. Master branch. There's a bit more to it. Great, okay. Way more to it. Interesting, I don't remember updating the master branch with all this. Or why I would change it in my branch. But, okay. Yeah, let's just apparently go back and change everything that I just did. As is the way of coding half the time. Okay, so this has any, does it have any similar methods? Not really. Nope, not at all. Great. So let's just go ahead and completely undo this. Like that. Okay. This is where the map will go, according to my master branch, not my branch. It's, I don't know what happened there, but I changed something. Object. Oh. Chasing configuration equals new. Here we go. I really should go over this class on my own sometime, really understand JSON better, because I don't really know much about it besides this stuff. So these are all or this is a non-public method. New object. New map. There we go. Now a map stream object non-public method to get the map from map. There we go. Now got some public methods. What will it set? Stream path mobile object. This makes a bit more sense to me. Showing everything in the map and not the actual JSON object. So first off, if the object is null, then we'll simply remove it from the map. Because that's what you're doing essentially. And then we'll return. Otherwise, map.put object. That will override anything that's already on that path. Okay. Next is a object get method. This should do the default. Okay. Okay. This is pretty simple, but my mind is really not doing the best right now. Quite tired. So, get our defaults. Defaults. This is a This should return default value. Oh. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Not being annotated is not normal. Alright. It should work just fine. There you go. And this is just basically saying first parameter doesn't matter, second parameter, if it's not null, then return a not null object. Now get from string path return get path null. There you go. Okay. Okay, yeah, now we got our get string methods. This is right. Okay, so before we get to this, we need to make another method. Just go ahead and leave that out for now. We're gonna make a method up here, and this will allow us to return any object type, not just an object. So get it should return t. So this is using generics to do what we need. Oops, never finishes. Well, should be less like that. There we go. Yeah. Nope, get our default. No. If object is null. Nope. You don't need a null check bounding. This is ever in a check. Hello. Sorry about that. There's cottage. Hello, hello. Welcome in. A little bit, I'm making a Minecraft plugin, specifically a prison core for 1.20.1. Yeah. Is instance. And we're going to pass in instance of the object, or it's not, rather. So we'll return default if it's not an instance of the object, and or if the class that we passed in is not an instance of the object. And I think that should also cover if object is null. So if it is an instance, and we return yeah, we're casting object to the class that we're going to pass in later. Right here, actually. I would say return get path default string.class, like that. So now we're telling it it'll return a string. Yeah. Just by passing in string.class, we're defining t here as a string, and that means t everywhere in this method is a string for this call. Now we are going to believe just make more get methods. Views. Well, welcome in whoever's in here. Let's keep going. Yeah. Now we're gonna make another get string here. Just gonna copy, paste, remove the default parameter, and we're just gonna pass in null here. And we're gonna replace get with get string. There you go. Now this is nullable, and this is also nullable. But we can put the contract on it, or perhaps on this method. Underscore, not null, underscore. Really, that's how this works. So doesn't matter what this is, doesn't matter what the third parameter is. The second one's not null, it should return not null. Cool. Now we're gonna make a get method for booleans, bytes, integers, longs, floats, doubles, and one for a set. So you know what I could do? Let's just copy paste, because I already have written this in the past, and this is going to be a lot longer if I don't. Here we go. We have get string, get boolean, get byte, get integer, get long, get float, get double. And now we make the get set. Specifically a set of strings. There we go. So set string, set new hash set. There we go. Now we need to loop through the map that we have all of our data in. The key set at least. And now we're going to check if the key starts with the parent. And then return if it doesn't. That way it'll go on to the next iteration of the loop. And now we're going to check for subkeys. Substring parent.length. String split. I'm going to split up that string we just got with a period. Set.add split 0. There we go. And then turn otherwise set.add sub. There we go. So what we're doing here is when we call this method, we're going to pass in a parent key. Then it'll loop through all of our map here of every key in the file. And if the key doesn't start with the parent key that we passed in, then it'll skip it. And then it'll get any text after the parent string, and it'll split it. It'll split that by a period. And if there's more than one word, meaning if there's text before and after the period, we will only add the text before the period and then return. Otherwise, we'll just add the entire subkey. And then after the loop, we just have to return the set. There we go. And the reason for this is so we can loop through different sets of data in our file. If I was to make here a data.json file, and I believe it's formatted like this. Player 1, right? You'll have a username. Great. And then player 2. User 1 and user 2. And then we'll add this data, and then we'll add, no, this is good enough for the example. So say we have a data file here, and we want to loop through all the players. We make it easier by adding this data header, the parent, so that all the players are in the data parent group here. So we could just call get set data, and it'll return every key. It'll return player -1, player -2, and so on, in a set that we can loop through easily. So we'll be essentially looping through every player in that example. Yeah. And that is all for this class, after I just redid it. So now JSON config has more to it. As I mentioned before, this one will have the JSON object. Private static final JSON, and this object here is going to be static, because you don't need multiple versions of it. JSON builder set printing create. The reason it's static is because we don't need to make multiple JSON instances for each file. We only need one for every file total. And since this is private static final and not null, we can format the name to how we normally would for a static final variable, which is just an all capital. Right, and now we're going to structure this just like the YAML config class. First, we implement *config to have our save, reload, and save changes methods. And then we just need to fill that out. So constructor, once again, with the file path, and this file path that ends with .json. There we go. This is saying, just setting this member field to file path if it ends with .json. Otherwise, set it to file path plus .json. And then we're going to call save and reload again. And also, we're going to create a new JSON configuration. It's going to be final because we're putting it here. And we're also going to need a file member field. JSON configuration, new JSON configuration. Okay. We're going to make our file method again. So we return new file path. Except this also needs the main class instance of the data folder path. Okay, now we have our options method. There we go, and we could probably make this not null, unlike the YAML config, because the YAML config can change the YAML configuration or file configuration. I think configuration, or no, it's just not. We just can't make it not null because file configuration is not set in the constructor. It's set in another method, the reload method. And in this reload method, we're not setting it to anything. Instead, we're setting the map inside of it. So first off, saving. If file is null, file equals file. If file exists, turn. Right, and we're gonna do the same check that we made here. We're just gonna go ahead and copy paste. Yep. And reload. It's a little bit different. Instead of just setting it, the file configuration is something, you're going to use the JSON configuration. Yep. Set map to JSON from JSON new file reader file hash map.class. I'm going to run this in a try catch. I believe it's this. There we go. And this is unchecked assignment. Yeah. And on my repo, I just submitted this. So then I just do that again. Inspection unchecked. Redundant expression. Okay, more than wise is okay. Okay. Let's see what else we need. I think that's everything. No, we need the save changes method. So yeah. We're gonna save from a string. So we need string JSON, listen to JSON. Using configuration get map. That's what we need in the map, the get map method for. And we also delete the file for some reason. Files are right. We're gonna do file graph JSON get pipes standard option standard open option dot create standard open option dot write and catch file exception. Okay. Yeah, it's fine, but it's ignored. Cool. Okay, space this out a bit. Yeah. That is everything for JSON. Okay. That is our config system setup for YAML and JSON. Now we could make the logging class. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, configuration. Let's go utils, and we'll make mini color enum. Yeah. And this enum will have one for chat, for the inventory, and for the console. And then root, not null, menu message, menu message. And this could be final. So now we're adding parameters to our enum values here. And one more to tag resolvers Yeah. And this is going to use, it's going to set many message by creating one from the tag resolvers. So creating it from the builder, tags, tag resolver builder, dot resolvers, and we'll call this, we'll rename it to tag resolvers, and there we go. Okay, and now we shall define which mini message each of these gets. Chat gets the default mini message with all of its tags, because the chat in Minecraft can support all of the tags. The inventory can only support color, gradient, rainbow, decorations, font, and reset. So let's go ahead and write out each of those. Color, gradient, rainbow, decorations, font, and reset. There we go. And the console is only going to have color and reset. There we go. Okay, now we can make some methods for these. Serialize and serialize, and a strip tags method. Okay. Yeah, that's good. If this is inventory, and when we say this in an enum, it's referring to, or I should say, when I say this in an enum method that's not static, this refers to which enum you're calling, so chat, inventory, or console. Each of these methods will be called from the enum value specifically. Since it's not a class, technically it's like, I don't know, it's like creating multiple methods at once for different classes, except you're not. Text declaration not telling false. If it's the inventory, or we are returning the deserialized string like normal, except we're applying the text declaration of italic to be false, because otherwise for items in Minecraft the text will be italic if you rename it, and we don't want that to be enabled by default. But we're not just disabling italics entirely. People can still use it if they choose. It's just that we're not going to make it a default thing on the items because it's annoying. And if it's not inventory, then we're just going to return the deserialized input. And by deserialized, I mean it's turning the string into a component, which is what Minecraft uses instead of strings for various reasons. I don't know. And now we're gonna make a method to deserialize a list of strings at once. Yeah, instead of just one at a time. No list component serialize list of strings as the input. So this we're making new list here. So if it's inventory, then input for each string here. For every string in the input list we're passing in. Hey, nice cottage. Hope the drive was alright. Assuming that's what you're doing. I don't know what else you'd be doing, but you know. I don't know, enjoy the stream space. Trying to dumb down what I'm doing, but it's currently 4 AM, so not doing the best at it, I would say. Either way, appreciate you guys tuning in. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing here. So we will do the same thing. Let's read it up here. Except we're adding it to the list, not returning it. It should be a lot easier if they had their own built-in deserialized methods for lists, but they don't. They only have it for singular strings. And the reason I'm doing it this way, instead of just calling the previous method in the list, is so that I don't have to check if it's inventory every time for every string. And now return list. There you go. You can actually remove this these braces here, since there's only one line of code inside the for each. We could simplify it like that, and like that. There you go. Also, cottage, hope your dinner is good. Okay, and now we are going to take these two methods and do the opposite. We're going to turn components into strings. We're going to serialize them instead of deserializing them. And this shouldn't, yeah, this doesn't need an inventory check. All it needs is that, and we're good. This one's going to return a list of strings from a list of components. This one only needs one for loop. which is a string. And this time you could just say serialize string. Okay. So I hope you guys can hear me alright. I'm talking a bit quiet here as it's 4 AM as aforementioned. Yeah, okay, last two methods for this evening. We're going to strip the tags from the string to remove any formatting on them, such as any colors or anything. Message dot strip tags. This string. Okay, following this string, list equip for each string, list and strip tags, string, and turn list. There you go. Where is this class done? Not a bad stream length so far, hour and almost 40 minutes. We'll do the log classes and then set up the main methods, and then I'll call the stream there. Good first stream, I would say. Yeah, we got this, and yeah, let's make configuration today, and then make our loggers. Great. And these are going to be a bunch of static methods. First, we're going to make another enum for different log levels. Info, success, and error. And the reason for different levels is to have different colors in the console. Yeah. Not no file. Not no string color. String log color equals empty string. Actually, just color is color. We can say this, and this we'll call this constructor here. Now for you, I'm gonna be green. I'm gonna make you red. And info is not gonna have any color. And that is it for our enum class here. Here we go. So right off the bat, we're gonna have some final private static strings. Final, not null, string, prefix, static, string debug prefix, and we'll have a divider. String divider. Now we'll define those as these values here. Like that, and divider is a lot of these, a lot of hyphens. 35 hyphens. Okay. Now we're gonna have an onload and onReload method. And add a couple more, some booleans here. Check boolean, so this boolean will determine if we will strip the tags of the text we're going to send to console, essentially removing the color code from it. And this will determine if we're going to send it in debug mode, which will append this debug prefix to it. So public static void onload and public static void onReload. This load method we'll just call the reload method, and the reload method will determine what these values are depending on our config here. First off, so we need to make a way to get our config. So let's see. I'm thinking in our interface here, we'll have new config get config YML. And now since we have this here in our interface, we have to go to our main class right here and implement that method as well, since this main class implements that interface that we just added it to. So in here is where we'll make our config, and where we'll get it from. Just like this, config YML, new config, there we go, just like that. And then this will return config YML. There we go. So now we can go back to our log and get the config from there. Master.get config YML. Okay. Allow formatting is equal to config.options.get boolean. Let's check our path here. Logging.allow-formatting. Logging.allow-formatting, and we'll default it to true. And we'll do the same for the debug mode boolean there. Logging.debug mode, and we'll set it to false by default. So that means if any of these two aren't in anyone's config, it'll default them to true and false. So there we go. That's our reload method done. At least for this class. Okay, and now we'll make our send method, which will utilize our log level. So public, we'll make this in private. This method will just be to more easily create other methods to log. So instrument lock level, boolean debug, and final not string input. There you go. The 3 dots here after string means we could pass in as many strings as we want. After you pass in the level and the boolean for debugging. So if debug here, so if this is supposed to be a debug message, and right, and we are not in debug mode, and we're going to return. If we can't send a debug message to the console if we're not in debug mode. Next, we gotta loop through our input here. Here we go. Okay, yep. So now we're gonna redefine what s is equal to. So in this for loop, we define a new variable s to determine which string we're on. In this undetermined amount of strings here. So we're going to redefine it to format it. So debug mode. So if we're in debug mode, then we'll say prefix plus debug prefix plus level color plus s. Otherwise, it's just prefix plus level color plus s. So if we're not in debug mode, then we're not going to put the debug prefix in it. So now that we formatted that, we are going to check if we allow formatting. And if not, then we're going to redefine s again. S is equal to mini color dot console dot strip tags s. There we go. So we're just stripping the tags from it to remove any colors. And then we send it to the console. And to do that, we're going to make a bucket sender, console command sender, sorry. Bucket console sender. There we go. And I'm defining that outside of our for loop. Otherwise, we'll be calling this method for every string to pass in, and we don't want to do that. And there we go. Sender.setMessage s. Well, actually, we need to deserialize it first. Mini color console deserialize s. So let's reiterate what we're doing in this method here. First, we are defining it, right? So we can say send astrologo.success, send it in debug mode, and we'll say debug message line 2, right? So we can pass in as many strings as we want, and every string that we pass in will be a new line, because we're looping through it and sending them all separately. Although I don't think we need to send it separately, but we'll test that out later and test it another time. Or rather, to do this, if we can just use /n. Maybe not, because I think /n is not specific to all operating systems. I think it could be a bit finicky. We'll just leave it how it is. Okay. even if we were to combine each string with a /n and send it all as one message instead of sending it multiple times or multiple messages, there really shouldn't be that much of a performance difference, so it should be fine either way. So yeah, that's our method here. So first we're checking if we're sending a debug message, and if we are, and we're not in debug mode, then we're returning. Then we're getting the console sender, and then we're looping through our strings that we passed in. And for every string, we're appending the prefix and the color of the level to it. And then if we don't have formatting, we're removing it, and then we're sending it to the console after we deserialize it to a component instead of a string. Okay, and now we have a whole host of methods to create. Yeah, these will be our public methods. Instead of having people just use this send method, we're gonna have our own simpler methods to allow them to use. First is a method to pass in the level and the strings. So we can say send level false input, and that's why we made the send method, so we can just call it through these. And we're not passing in a debug boolean here because this is the log method. And we're going to create separate methods to debug instead. So now we're going to make another log method, except this time we're going to skip the level. Just going to go straight to the message, and this will default to the info level. So if you just call log and then a string, it'll default to just a standard level of logging. And then we'll have our debug methods, which are the same as these, except with a different name. Debug, and we're going to pass in true instead of false for debug. Okay, and next up are 4 divider methods. And the reason there's 4 is because we'll have a method with 2 parameters, a method with 1 parameter, another method with 1 parameter, and then a method with no parameters. So public static void divider, the log level, and whether it's in debug mode or not. And then we'll send level debug divider back up to this string we made earlier. Divider up here, set to this 35 hyphens. Okay. And now we'll make another one. Except this time we'll only pass in the level. Send level false divider. So it'll default to not a debug message. And now we'll make another one. Except this time we'll pass in the debug boolean and not the level. Send astrolog level dot info debug divider. Yep. So this one will default to the info level with the optional debug mode or not. And then we'll send the divider. And now one last divider method with no parameters. And we'll default to the info level and not a debug message. And there we go. Okay. And there are some more methods I can create here. Okay, 12 total views so far. Not bad. Current viewers 2. Hope you guys are well. I think it might just be Cottage. If you're still in here, Cottage, hope your day was good. Yep, and now let's check my branch for this class. I'm pretty sure I added more to it. Yeah. So this will, yeah, let's make a new class to pass in our exceptions. We'll call it throwable bugles. So we'll call it static, string get stack trace. Final, not null, throwable. So this class will have the writer, print writer, print writer. This writer is a new string writer, and this is a new print writer with the writer passed in. And after that, we will say throwable dot print stack trace to our print writer, and then we'll flush print writer, which flushes the string. Wait, good description. We will return print writer dot to string, and we will space this out a bit so it's more readable. There we go. This essentially takes the stack trace from the throwable and turns it into string. And we can log ourselves. So now we have that. We can make our methods to log our stack traces. We will log throwable send show log level dot, we'll default it to an error. Throwable utils dot get stack trace throwable. There we go. We'll make another method to have the level passed in. We'll pass the level in that we just passed in. There we go. And we'll make these two again, but for debug. And for debugging. True. There we go. All done with our log classes. Three of them total. One is an enum, one is a utility class to get the stack trace from the throwable or exception. That's done with. Now we can go to our main class and make our startup methods. Public void on enable, public void on disable, and we'll have public void on reload. And in reload, we will save and reload the content. And we will also call astrolog.onReload. That way, that will also get reloaded when we call this method. So now, astrolog.log. First time, yeah. Astra present v. We'll get the plugin meta, get version disabled, and we will make it the level of success. And on this one, we will do our divider. Astra log success. Astra present enabled. And we will say astrolog.log of an info level, and we will say version and that will be get plugin meta get version enabled. No, we don't need enabled. Alright, we already said it was enabled. And then we will say developed by on a new line, and then another divider just to make it look presentable in the console. There we go. So now when the plugin starts, it will print out our divider and these messages here. There's another divider. And when the plugin disables, it will also print out that it was disabled. Okay, there we go. Now I suppose let's go over everything that we did in this stream. First off, I did it off camera before the stream, but I have a config file, our plugin.yml file here, and we have our build.gradle file that I did for the stream as well. Those are build source for common Gradle modules, and then we have our common module here as well. This common module will be used throughout all of our other modules in our project, including the main module here. So currently our main module only has the main class in it, which defines what will happen when the plugin starts, loads, and disables, and eventually reloads. And then in our common module, we have all of our utilities. We have our interface here, which will allow us to get our config from the main class in any other module. And then we have our Astra class here, which will allow us to get the instance of our interface that we need, which will be our main class, which then will allow us to get whatever we need from the main class, etc. We have a utility class called miniColor, which will allow us to utilize a mini message in 3 different scenarios: one in the console, one in inventory, and one in the chat, with a host of methods to serialize and deserialize strings to and from components, with 2 methods to remove any formatting from strings. And we have our throwable utils class, which simply gets the stat trace from any exception that we pass into it. Just rename that to capital ST. Okay, and then we have our level enum here with info, success, and error. So 3 different log levels. One uses green, one uses red. and then our astrolog class here, which allows us to print whatever we need to the console. And then we also have all of our configuration files. We have an interface to allow us to have multiple different kinds of config files with the same required methods throughout all of them, such as saving and reloading, so that the saving and reloading system, no matter which file type, will be the same throughout our project. And then we have a YAML config here with the reload, save changes, and save method. So we'll see a method to get our stuff from the config. And we have our custom JSON configuration stuff. JSON configuration to be is our own alternative to file configuration, since file configuration is for YML, and there is no alternative in Bucket for JSON, at least not to my knowledge. So we made our own, just so that we can use JSON the same way we use the uniformity to make it more simplistic. And then our JSON config class, which does the same as the YAML config class, except for JSON. And there we go. That is everything we have done in today's stream, which has been quite a long one, I will say. I didn't think I would stream for over 2 hours, but you know, that's fine with me. So yeah, that's everything for now. I hope to stream again in the future. I tried streaming forever ago, but it wasn't working. Not sure why it wasn't, but it just wasn't sending enough frames to YouTube, so it was all laggy. But glad this one works. It works now. Hope I will stream again soon. As I said, I really don't have any schedule or anything, or like any plans to stream anytime, whenever. We'll see. Definitely need to build up an audience, that's for sure. But thank you to everyone who tuned in. Cottage, if you're still tuned in, thank you. Very nice of you. Glad you could be here for the first live stream that I've done. And yeah, I mean, hope it was interesting to you. I mean, it wasn't really anything simplistic. Hope it wasn't too hard to follow if you were trying to. Yeah, more to come in the future. So yeah, see you guys then.